Thank you, Acting President. Sorry, just before I start, I just have a memory of Mr. Finn talking about his time on the school bus with the sticky seats and the shorts. So with that visual, I'm quite happy to support Mr. Barton's motion to further explore how we can better use the school bus program. And I don't think Mr. Barton would mind me calling it the bus sharing motion. Ride sharing on a bus motion. But I must say, when I looked at the motion, I kind of thought, hang on, we've done this before. And back in the dim distance 2017, the Law Reform Road and Community Safety Committee had an inquiry into lowering the probationary driving age in Victoria to 17. And that was instigated by a member in this House, Mr. Purcell from Western Victoria. Ultimately, we didn't recommend lowering the probationary driving age, but we did recommend reviewing the school bus program. And in fact, we state that review how the school bus program could be better utilised to meet the transport needs of young people from rural areas to access employment, education and training opportunities. Because we heard this time and time again, particularly in those regional and rural areas, that the lack of transport actually excluded many young people from employment opportunities, from education opportunities, because they just couldn't get to where they needed to go. Or if they did, it would take them a 4-hour round trip, we heard. Or we heard of mothers having to drive one child 70 k's in one direction, come back home, pick up another child and drive them in the other direction because they couldn't access the bus program, amongst other things. So we know that regional Victoria is really disadvantaged from a transport perspective and that we could desperately improve that. And I'd actually say up in northern Metropolitan, in my region, in the newer suburbs, actually expanding the school bus program up there would actually have some great advantages to people up there who are also very disadvantaged because of a lack of public transport up there. Now, the government's response to recommendation 11 from the committee back in 2017 was that they supported it in principle, the notion of better utilising the bus program, the school bus program, and in fact they said that they would consider these in the context of forthcoming negotiations of the school bus program contracts that were expiring on the 31st of December 2019. Well, when Mr. Barton very kindly provided us with a briefing and Dr. Lowe and Professor Stan Lees provided really excellent information about the system to us, I asked Dr. Lowe what had happened in those negotiations and he said nothing. They had actually just negotiated nothing. They had not tried to expand the program. You know, in 2016, there was actually a trial of this program, and I've yet to be able to find out what happened, where the government actually said we will trial allowing a range of other people to use the bus for employment purposes. I mean, currently apprentices can use it in some areas, and other non-school students or the students who aren't going to those schools can use it, but they're rare and far between. I hope that this inquiry actually further explores this, further advocates for this, and you know, for all of us who are on on various committees, we all know that this is actually they usually are very good ways of really extrapolating the information, getting the views of the community. And I think, and I commend all of the committee staff that help support the committees in this House, because they do a lot of work, but they also have been able to connect with constituents, connect with the general public, and it's a really great interface with the Parliament the committees, where we see the general public getting involved in the committee inquiries and the committee process. And I have no doubt there will be significant interest in this inquiry from those regional areas. And I have no doubt that, that the inquiry, and I think it will be chaired by the acting president, will hope... Mr Erdogan, chaired by Mr Erdogan. So I'm sure, and I heard his comments on this, he sounds like he's enthusiastic about this inquiry. Anything we can do to assist in improving transport in regional areas. Also, reducing the need for them to constantly be in cars on some of the roads that are some of the more dangerous in Victoria. So thank you, Mr Barton, for bringing this to the chamber, and I look forward to hearing how the progress of this inquiry.